Today's design is this floral pattern on top of a gradient background. For this design, you'll need a makeup sponge for the gradient and a thin art brush for the floral detail. You'll also need the basics, tinfoil for your polish palette, acetone and a brush for cleanup, paper towel, and the polishes that I've used will be listed below. The great thing about a design like this is all of the flowers can be different and each of the nails can be different, so you don't have to worry about trying to get everything perfectly the same or perfectly symmetrical. For this flower, I'm starting with a very pale pink base, and then once that's dry, I go back on top, adding some more petals with a white polish. This gives this flower a little bit of dimension. For the gradient base that I have on my nail here, I don't have it included in this tutorial, but I will include a link below on how to do a gradient nail, and really you could do it in any color. I just thought the green would be nice, and I seem to be on a green kick for March. I'm putting my polish on tinfoil and mixing the 2 shades of pink and a little bit of the white as well to just give these flowers some dimension and a little bit of a watercolor look. One of my favorite things, besides the look of floral nails, is that I find them really easy to do. They don't have to be perfect, they don't all have to be the same, and it just makes doing the design so much more enjoyable because you know it's going to turn out. I don't always like the flower until I add the top coat sometimes. I do find the top coat really finishes and blends the design, so don't ever give up. Always finish through to the top coat, because what you might not like when you're working on it, you might feel very different about once you have the finished product. Something I'm doing a little bit different with this design is I'm putting a little bit of green in the center of each of my flowers and then dotting that with a little bit of white to soften it. This is not something I typically do with my flowers, but I really liked the look of it here. It really tied everything together. For my ring finger, I've really increased the speed of the video, mostly because it's very similar to what I've just done on my middle finger, and I did want to show you the work, however, because it is slightly different, but I didn't want to bore you to death, so I have this on a very high speed and you can just kind of follow along what I'm doing. I seem to be a little bit obsessed lately with the matte top coat, so for this design I use it yet again and just love the way that it looks. You can also do a glossy top coat with this and I'm sure it would look just as nice. I just, like I said, seem to be on a little bit of a kick with the matte top coat. So with all of my designs, I make sure everything's fully dry before I add that top coat, and especially with my matte top coat, I tend to wait a little bit longer, even because I do find it streaks quite a bit. So rather than ruin all the hard work, I make sure I wait a good amount of time before I add that top coat. And there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Please comment, share, subscribe, and thumbs up are always appreciated.